is so blocked. Sorry, guys. Oh, it's really throwing me off. God, my hair is so long. When did that happen? Sorry. Probably could have left all of this out before I hit record. So guys, welcome back to the channel for another video. I'm sorry that I didn't get to do a Warrior Wednesday video. I was busy. I've got time to do this morning, so we're just gonna all band together and pretend this happened 48 hours ago. Cool? Cool. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the concept of blame. Who to blame for your eating disorder. I went through this process during therapy with my psychologist, trying to figure out the origin and the cause of my eating disorder. A lot of it had to do with people in my life, my upbringing, the fact that I was teased quite heavily when I was a kid for being overweight, even though I look back on photos and I'm like, that's overweight for a 10-year-old? What is wrong with people? And I did have to figure out what those external influences had done, how they'd impacted me, how they'd formed my view of myself and my self-esteem and my eventual eating disorder, like how it all contributed. And I've always had this very, very simplistic narrative of how I got sick. And a lot of it had to do with the divorce of my parents. A lot of it had to do with the bullying at school. A lot of it had to do with my stepdad's attitude towards food and fat people, and the fact that food was very much controlled in our house, and there was good and there was bad food, and that you had set meal times and you had to ask for permission to have food outside of set meal times. And he was just a very controlling individual and somebody who used to openly make fun of fat people in public. And I used to make it like that simple, that was what had made me sick, or that's what had made me a disordered person. And I've mentioned to you guys recently that I've been writing essays about my eating disorder and my recovery, which I've tried to do for so long. I've tried to put that experience down into words so I can share it. And recently, with these two symptoms I've been dealing with, body checking and restricting, it's caused me to need this outlet to write and to finally be able to put this experience down on paper. And I hope that you guys get to see it one day. I hope you get to read it. I hope it gets published, but even if it doesn't, it's been the most incredible experience for me. It's been so cathartic and such an outlet. And more importantly, in terms of the blame aspect, it's given me such a bird's eye view of the entire experience of what led to my eating disorder, the eating disorder, and my recovery. And I realized for my own progress in my recovery, for my own health, I can't hold on to blame anymore. I can't make it as simple as this person or that comment or I was bullied or whatever. Because as I've examined it, I can see exactly what we're always saying here, and that is that these illnesses are complicated beasts, and it's never just about genetics, it's never just about trauma, it's never just a skinny model walking down a runway and the photos being disseminated everywhere and that makes young women want to be thin. It's never just about control, it's never just about a desire to look good. It's so multifaceted, and I thought I was living that, but I really can see now that I was trying to cram all the reasons for why I got sick and trying to justify all the reasons for why I got sick into a very, very simplistic explanation. And a lot of that did fall on the responsibility of other people. And don't get me wrong, if you're at that point in your recovery where you're unraveling all the reasons why, and you need to make people accountable, because that's real. It may not be the whole explanation for why you got sick, but if somebody contributed in any way to how you got sick, you have a right to acknowledge that, and you have a right to, if you feel comfortable, confront those people. And I don't mean confront aggressively, I mean discuss with those people what their part in it was. I went through that. I was very lucky that I had people who were receptive to that, who have been incredibly open to me being honest, because just like your eating disorder doesn't just belong to you, it affects so many people. It affects the people you're closest to, your family, the people you have relationships with, the friendships with. It belongs to so many people. Recovery is very much the same thing. And people can get quite uncomfortable when you recover, because it means that you're going to have to face some stuff, and they're going to have to face some stuff that maybe everybody's not ready to kind of like go there yet. Even though in terms of recovery, it's essential that you go there. And I was really lucky when I was figuring out everything that contributed to my eating disorder, that whenever that was a person-specific situation, they were really open to being like, okay, I own that and I'm sorry, and if I'd known better, I would have done better. And that's all it's about. That's all the blame stuff is about. Blame is a really heavy word, but to me, it's transformed from, it's as simple as, you did this, it resulted in me getting sick, anger, process that, forgive, move on. I can now take it a step further where I'm like, people don't exist in vacuums. People don't exist in silos. People didn't happen to me. They didn't just do things or say things or behave in a way just because that was their choice to do it. We're all impacted by painful things and people's behavior, and we're all kind of just like crashing into each other in the world. And we all intersect at certain times of our lives, and somebody causing pain to someone else might cause that person to then cause pain to you, probably unintentionally. I think that the people who I had to go through that process with and say, you know, this is where you contributed to my pain, I now have an understanding that, and I understood, but I really deeply accept it now, that everybody has pain, everybody goes through trauma, everybody impacts people negatively without meaning to, without being malicious, without bad intentions. And even those people in my life who I don't have in my life anymore because they have impacted me so badly, I make the choice not to have them in my life because they're toxic, or we just have a negative interaction, or they've hurt me and I don't want that in my life anymore. I even have this feeling of resolve towards them as well. They had childhoods, they had pain, they had, you know, things that affected them that they weren't in control of. And all I can do is put that where it belongs, forgive where I can, and hope to God that and I don't mean God because I'm an atheist, but I hope that I don't impact people the way that I've been impacted, and be cognizant and conscious of just how much your pain and your situation can impact other people. I am rambling, and I am aware that I'm rambling, because this is all like, you are watching me come to all these realizations in like real time, and I am really going through an evolution in my recovery at the moment, which I've been showing you the last few weeks. And this is part of it, is the next phase of recovery for me, and having these realizations. So if there's a few rambly videos in the next few weeks, please forgive me. But it's a healthy purging, I guess. Like the writing's been a healthy purging. We talked about healthy control or positive control a few days ago, and this is like a positive purging, that it's getting it out, it's expressing it, it's writing it, it's talking to people about it, it's going to therapy about it, all of that healthy outlet kind of stuff. So, a bit rambly, my apologies. But at the end of the day, I've spent a lot of years making people responsible for my eating disorder. And as much as I said, that's a part of the process, or can be part of the process, it was something that helped me initially, and now I feel like it's stifling my next phase of recovery, which is what I think the last few weeks has been about, is a moment of growth and a moment of learning and a moment of evolution in my eating disorder. And I need to push through this uncomfortable, awkward phase to get to the next side, or to the other side, to be an articulate English-speaking individual. And that means that I do need to face up to the fact that I am going to be uncomfortable for a little while, and it's going to be awkward for a little while, and I'm going to have to face up to some stuff, and that means starting to own this. I need to let go and really forgive, because I've shared this definition of forgiveness that I love so many times, originally seen on Oprah, and that is, forgiveness is not saying that what happened was okay. Forgiveness is accepting that it couldn't have been any different, and truly accepting that. And I say that, but I don't feel like I've been living that. But in the last few weeks, I really feel like I have been. I've had conversations with people. Oh, excuse me, coffee burp. I've had conversations with people where I have said, you know, I feel like I've been giving you a really tough time, and there's things here that we've resolved, and I'm still not moving on from them, and I'm still flaying you for them, and you don't deserve that, because that's not helping me, and it's not doing anything but making you feel like shit for things you've already apologized for. And what's the need for the apology when we're all people in pain? We're all people with our stuff and our history, and yes, apologize and forgive, and then truly, when you need to let it go, let it go. And that's what I now need to do, is let some shiz go. I don't think this video made any sense. Did it? Guys, let me know if it made sense. Let me know if you've gone through a similar thing, if you're in the middle of that unraveling of your eating disorder and trying to figure out what belongs to who and how it all unfolded, and that uncomfortable phase of like, guys, just so you know, I'm going through recovery, so I'm going to be having some real talk with you, and I need to talk to you about some shit that you did that made me not so well. But if you've also gone through it and you've got out the other side of that and you've really processed it and let it go and you're able to move to the next stage, I'd love to hear from you as well, because I'm in that awkward little limbo phase at the moment, and I'd love to hear from people who've come out the other side of that. Guys, give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in a few days with another video. One that will make equally no sense, just like that sentence just made no sense. Loving these non-edited videos where I can just stumble and speak total nonsense that makes no sense to anyone but me. Anyway, guys, come and follow me on Twitter and Instagram under What Mia Did Next. Those links in the description box below. In the meantime, as always, much love and take care. Bye, guys.